wires and cable. Great quality, now with the new look.
All right, if you just joined us, it is still Journalist Hangout. I'm still hanging out with Chris Kende Wadu and also Babajide Kolade Tutoju. Now let the conversation continue. According to a former U.S. president, Calvin Coolidge, nothing is of greater importance than the conservation of human life to improve safety and regulation on waterways. The National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, has commenced a sensitization and enforcement drive to ensure full compliance with the Waterways Transportation Code in Lagos jetties. The Lagos area manager of NIWA, Sarat Brema, stated that the agency will ensure that boat captains, operators and passengers are fully aware of the new safety measures and the strict penalties for non-compliance. Now, the agency has deployed 76 marshals and 72 naval officers to enforce compliance. The major aspects of the code are mandatory registration of vessels, the ban on overloading of boats, and the compulsory use of life jackets for all passengers. Now, BK, talking about the Waterways Transportation Code.
Yes.
Tell us, what is it about? And also, will all of this ensure safety on the inland waterways?
Of course. I'm happy for one thing. When you put the right people in the right places, you are bound to get good results. The dividends will be self-evident. The Nigerian Inland Waterways had been neglected over the years. What they just came up with now is a 4,479-page book about the Inland Waterways Transportation Regulations. These were things that for years we didn't bother about. And accidents were rampant on the waterways. When accidents happen, you find that the bulk of the travelers were not even wearing
life jackets.
Yes, life jacket. No form of protection. Sometimes the vessels are overloaded. People just allowed all sorts of nonsensical things to go on. So it has taken the current helmsman, who for years was finance commissioner in Osun State, to come up with a set of laws and regulations to guide the conduct of people who want to use the waterways. I, for one, would very much like to use the waterways if my office was located close to a terminal, for example, a jetty. But that's not the case, because it is a good alternative to the usual commuting that we are familiar with. So now these regulations that they come up with talks about safety, qualifications of captains, environmental ecosystem of the waterways, and what people need to do. So now they've embarked on campaigns to ensure that people are aware of their responsibilities, because there are fines to go with infractions. So those sensitizations at the jetties will continue until such a time that the people are aware of what's contained in this 4,479-page book. You see, for example, dumping of refuse and solid waste on waterways, for example. People do it here in Lagos. You see them. They've turned the lagoon and
into some sort of dump site.
Yeah, just dump waste in them. If you are caught doing this, it's a 20,000 naira fine. You know, if you are caught overloading a vessel, you will also pay a hefty fine. If you violated regulations regarding life-saving appliances. That's what I said earlier. You need
the life jackets
yes,
and all.
because you, as a captain, you must make sure that the people
on your boat,
vessel, they
are well secured.
Yes, are protected. We've taken the well-being of Nigerians for granted for too long. And I'm really, really grateful that we now have a helmsman at NIWA. NIWA, by the way, the headquarters is in Lokoja. I was there some months back. The headquarters is in Lokoja. But now we are seeing a new lease of life. I saw some of the new buildings that they constructed within the space that they have. For so long, that agency had been neglected, but we are seeing some energy now under the leadership of the Minister of Blue Economy. Of course, you know, great things are happening, and this is one of them.
This is one of them.
To put together a body of regulations, 4,479. You know what that means.
Exactly.
So it's no longer an all-commerce affair now.
No longer business as usual.
Yes, no longer business as usual. Look at all the people that they've deployed. 76 marshals, 72 naval officers in Lagos alone. There's no way that the job won't be done.
All right, CKN, let's talk about increasing the potential of inland waterways in Lagos. Now, looking at these laws, in your opinion, will this boost the confidence in water transportation and also increase patronage?
Yeah, it should be, because ordinarily, to a large extent, the waterway ought to be one of the safest and the shortest means of transportation. And I remember in my early days in the industry, when I was working with LT's advertising Apapa, and if we want to come today to Marina, all we just go is to Deliver Brothers office there. There's a harbor there. Just enter a boat, piam. Within 5 minutes, you're in the Marina. If you take that stretch by road, coming from Apapa, from Apapa to Marina, it will take you over 1 hour. Hold up and rest of them. Lagos traffic, yes.
Exactly.
There will no hold. I'm telling you. Last week, we were somewhere, BK and I and some of us, we were at an event of one of our friends, somewhere in Adota, in Ogun State. We passed through the Lagos Badagry Express.
Okay.
We entered through Badagry. And I saw that at the tip end, if you know the Badagry, where the toll gate used to be, on the left there is a jetty that was built. I was curious enough to look at that. If you get to that jetty, you'll be shocked. From that Badagry, from there, you must see Marina. What it means is that if you enter a boat from there, from that Badagry to Marina, definitely within 10 minutes, you'll be in Marina. That is how close that is. So that is why the water transportation is very, very key.
Something that will take you hours from there.
Yes,
to the road.
and yes. Now let me shock you more. When we are talking of issue of life jacket, the life jacket is an equivalent of the seat belts that the road safety have as Nigerians. If you know how many lives have been saved in Nigeria since the federal road safety started insisting on Nigerians using seat belts, the same thing on the waterway. A few days ago, 40 people died in Zamfara State. Boat mishap. There have been instances where people die and close to 200 in this Nigeria.
Because of
the yes. Now, you still remember, even Nollywood, you saw what happened.
Yes.
A few months ago, when some Nollywood people went to the Pope John and the rest of them, they were not wearing life jacket, and the guys they fell into water. And so that issue is something I really, really like, because if you go to Marina and stay at Marina and see those boats ferrying people from here to Ikorodu, the speed and the way and manner our people sit, like if we are loaded with all sorts of things, people are sitting on top of boat, they are not wearing life jacket and the rest of them, and most of them are saying,
so compliance
is very key. If we can be able to get that, but good enough, we also have to commend, I think it's Lamata, I don't know which one is it, I think it's Lamata, that's in charge of transportation. If it's Lamata, I will tell you that they've also been doing a lot of jobs in that way, because I've seen of recent that most often than not, before you enter a boat, at times they insist. Some of the officers. Last in May, I was in Cote d'Ivoire for the African Nations Cup, and we were to be taken to some tourist. It was by boat. Some of our Nigerian people, you know their numbers, the celebrities and whatever, they wanted to enter the boat. And the operators of the boat said, no, you must wear it. I heard somebody saying that it will stain my listing. You know what they told him?
Talking with his life.
I'm telling you, no, they didn't allow him to enter. They said, please, good. And he didn't go.
That's what we want to see.
And that is what we want to see here.
So
if the enforcement, so if the NIWA, if we're getting this, all this number of these things, I will hope that this will also be replicated in other states.
Yes,
especially with the Niger data and the creek.
They've said they will cascade it to other.
It will help us a lot. It will. It will save a lot of lives.
Because look, let's face it. We have to encourage commuting by the waterways so that we can decongest our roads.
Yeah.
And Lagos, the city of aquatic splendor, is a city where I believe that the waterways have been largely neglected, underutilized. So if people are guaranteed of their safety, if more investors will come into this business, more investors with the right equipment and all the right appliances, you know, the right vessels, more people, it is fun.
Very, very.
For example, you are going to the most distant beach in Lagos.
Beaches, yes.
You go. You don't even have to take your car.
Yes, that's the thing.
You park your car and you enter the boat. Most of those beaches.
If I was living in Agility, for example, and I have a job on the island, of course, I will use the waterways.
The water.
And once I'm guaranteed of my safety, honestly, it is so much pleasure. It is so much pleasure. The thing is, the practitioners, the captains, and everybody must be vigilant. You cannot take extreme measures just because you want to make money. You cannot take risk. So to Bola Oyebamiji and his team, we say, well done. We wish you Godspeed. We know that there is a lot more to do.
Sure.
Lagos is just one of the places where you need to enforce this code using the resources at your disposal. The Navy, they are there, and then your own trained personnel. Let us exploit the full potential of our waterways.
All right, let's go back to another conversation. With the hard economic climate in Nigeria, serving and retired workers cannot afford any delay in the payment of their entitlements. As such, retired workers of the Federal